If you want to have a perfect, flawless, 100% conversion rate on your cold calls when actually opening the phone calls, this video is the only video you're ever going to have to watch. After literally making tens of thousands of calls since getting licensed in 2020, and more importantly, over the last 3.5 years, my job that I do for a living is auditing my students' phone calls from every single different market across the United States. And in this video, I'm gonna give you guys every single opening line, and more importantly, not just the words that you're gonna have to say, but how to deliver those words on calls with for sale by owners, expireds, for rent by owners, your sphere of influence, and circle prospects to literally, quite literally, and you can challenge me on this, have a 100% entry rate into your cold calls. Let's get right into it. The first set of opening lines I want to open up with is for sale by owner. And actually, before we hop into that, I want to share with you guys what a lot of other people are out there teaching and why, in my opinion, it doesn't work. Let's break this down. There's different lead sources. Let's talk about for sale by owners and expireds first. For sale by owners and expireds are lead sources that are, for the most part, expecting your phone call. These are not like, circle prospects, old expireds, for rent by owners, and sphere of influence that are not expecting your phone call. So let's categorize this real quick. On this side, we have people that are expecting your phone calls, for sale by owners and expireds. And then on this side, we have people that are not expecting your phone calls, like circle prospects, old expireds, for rent by owners, and sphere of influences. Now, the difference is that, for example, there's something called, that's very common, a permission-based opener. Hey, John, I know I'm calling you out of the blue here. You mind if I share an idea with you for 30 seconds? Hey, John, do you have a minute? Hey, John, do you have a second to chat? Hey, John, is now a good time? The reason why I would never use these permission-based openers with something like a for sale by owner or an expired is because they're expecting your call. Once they hit the market as a FSBO or once they come off the market as an expired, they know they're gonna get bombarded with calls. So those first 15 to 20 seconds are crucial because you actually use those to say what you're gonna say and get yourself in the conversation. Now, by the way, guys, I'm gonna break this all down. This might be a little bit longer of a video, but if you stay till the end, I'm gonna show you the exact word for word scripts. I'm also gonna offer them to you for free. If you want them right now, you can just click the link below and go in the school community. But more importantly, I'm going to break down how to say these words, okay? So you're gonna definitely wanna stay till the end. Now, permission-based openers, like I said, are not really useful when it comes to for sale by owners and expireds. I don't really use, and you'll see here when I break it down, I don't really like using permission-based openers for the other lead sources as well. I think that time can be used to actually position a question that's gonna get you inside of the conversation. For example, also saying things like, hey, John, and I know this is a cold call, and just as much as you hate getting these calls, I hate making them. I would never, ever use something like that. I'm sure it's worked for plenty of other people, but I would never, ever use anything like that because at the end of the day, you're letting them know it's a cold call. Like the way that I teach, and maybe you guys are new to the channel or new to me, you guys will learn throughout the journey as you watch my videos. The way that I teach cold calling, it almost feels like a warm call. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that here in a second. The second tip I wanna give you on what not to do when opening a phone call is following the same pattern that all the other agents follow. So what we do, and what I've talked about in other videos, is creating a pattern interrupt. Most agents are taught to start these phone calls with any lead source with their name and their company. And although I fully agree with identifying yourself, it doesn't have to happen on the opening line, which is what this video is about. So instead of saying something like, hey, John, this is actually Alexis with eXp Realty. I'm calling you on the property on 1257 Southwest 8th Street. That is the worst way to open a call because more importantly than the tone, the words that you're choosing to use are being chosen by every other realtor. So the second you say the same words in the same way, the prospect's already like, oh my God, this is a cold call, and they're trying to find the exit. So you wanna use different verbiage, like different language, different words, and you wanna say the words in a different way. For example, let's say most agents say their name and their company. They'll typically say like this, hey, John, this is actually Alexis with eXp Realty. I'm looking at a property here on 5th Street. Is that home still available? Like with that weird salesy upward inflection tone, and they say their name and the company name. And I'm gonna break this down literally line by line, but instead you wanna use more of a pattern interrupt that says something like, hey, John, this is actually Alexis. I'm not sure if you can help me out for a moment. That property on 5th Street, is that home still available or did you guys already happen to find a buyer for it? That line if you use it in that way, it will work 100% of the time. So now that we've established two things, okay, to recap really quick before I hop in and break this down line by line, we've established that there are two kinds of lead sources first and foremost. A right now lead source pond, which is for sale by owners and expireds, and a for later lead source pond, which is circle prospects, old expireds, for rent by owners, and sphere of influence. These are people that are not actively selling the property, and I'm going to show you the differences in how I create pattern interrupts, okay? So let's start with for sale by owners, and hopefully my team can pop up the script right here somewhere on the screen so you guys can see it. And by the way, any of these scripts that you guys get access to, you guys can literally go on ChatGPT and say something like, ChatGPT, can I upload my current script and have you optimize it to sound more curious, more empathetic, more direct, more indirect, and you can literally optimize this script in a way that makes you feel comfortable. I'm not saying you guys have to sound or say exactly what I do and say, but with the tools that we have at our disposal now, it is much easier to optimize and even role play these scripts. We'll talk about that in another video. So first script I want to pop up on here is the for sale by owner cold calling script, right? So one line can go like this. And by the way, very crucial, if you guys are noticing, I start the calls with, hey, John, not, hey, is this John? Or, hey, is this the property owner? And now listen, there's sometimes where you are gonna have to say, hey, is this a property owner? Because you couldn't find the tax record or whatever. I recommend you guys do at least 30 to 45 seconds of research before every call. The difference in you saying, hey, is this John? And hey, John, is them not knowing you're cold calling. If you say, hey, is this John? You are telling the prospect, I don't know who you are, I am a stranger. If you say, hey, John, they're like, yeah, who's this? And you are now engaging them because they don't know if they should know you. All right, really quick, guys. These scripts that I'm showing you in this video are only used in my private community. Any of my free platforms do not have these scripts, but if you guys want them, I'll send them to you. All you got to do is text me 305-970-4305. I'll send you guys all of these scripts for free. Hope you're enjoying the video. Let's get back to it. First line. Hey, John? Yeah, John, this is actually Alexis. I'll be brief. I just clicked on the home here on 5th. I do see it's listed as for sale by owner. I guess just out of curiosity, John, is that home still available? Or did you guys already get it under contract? Now, notice a few things here, right? Hey, John, directly. John, this is actually Alexis, okay? Instead of saying, John, this is Alexis. John, this is Alexis Valladares. Hey, John, yeah, it's actually just Alexis. It's more casual, it's calmer. It affects them subconsciously in a different way, and it doesn't trigger the sales resistance. Hey, John, it's actually just Alexis. I just clicked on the home here on 5th. Instead of saying the entire address, I'll just say the home here on 5th, the home on Ponce de Leon, the home on Lakeside View. You want to keep it short because every other agent is saying the whole address. And if you say just one part of the address, it's more casual and it sounds less like a cold call. Hey, look, John, I do see it is listed as for sale by owner. That is called acknowledgement and objection prevention. And this is called the either or question. Is that property still available, or did you guys already happen to get it under contract? That will work 100% of the time because they're going to answer your question. It's still available. Are you a realtor? But now you're in the conversation. It's already under contract. We already have a buyer. Now you're in the conversation, right? Whatever way you want to slice it. It's like some of you guys might say, well, yeah, if I say this line, I'm going to get objections. But you're in the conversation. Okay, opening line number 2. A little bit longer. Hey, John? Yeah, John, this is actually Alexis. I just came across a home you have here on 5th. And by the way, I do see it is listed for sale by owner. And listen, I'm sure you're getting a ton of calls. I'm going to keep this brief. I guess just out of curiosity, John, if I connected you with an outside buyer who made a financially strong offer, I mean, one that obviously still made sense for you after commissions and closing costs, I'm guessing you guys are probably open to working with an agent at this point, even if it meant more money in your pocket, right? This is a bit longer of an opening line, but what I'd recommend is you guys get these opening lines and split test them. Make 100 calls with one, make 100 calls with another, and see what works better in your market. To be honest, if I had to pick one forever, I'd pick opening line number 1 on this script. Alternative version by ChatGPT number 3. Hey, John, this is actually Alexis. I saw the home you have listed here on 5th Street, and I know you guys are going the FSBO route, and I totally respect that. I'm just curious, is this property still available, or did you get it under contract? And the cool thing about this line is that you're low-key telling them that you're a realtor. So they're going to say, are you a realtor? Then you can say, yeah, John, listen, I actually am an agent over with EXP. And now you introduce yourself in the company, and then you just keep on going to the next line. Okay, by the way, if you guys ever have any questions, or comments, please interact with me. Leave a comment below. I'll respond to you. If you guys want to learn more about what it would look like to work directly with me, I have a book a call link directly below. If you're someone that wants to build your cold calling communication skill sets and close more deals, and you want somebody that's been there before to guide you, click the link below, book a call. I hope this is valuable so far. We're going to keep diving into this. That is the for sale by owner opening lines. Let's quickly hop over here into the expired opening lines. Let's go look at expireds, okay? Opening line number 1. Hey, John. Yeah, John, this is actually Alexis. I just came across the property here on 5th Street. I noticed it came off the market recently. And listen, I'm sure you're getting a ton of calls. Just curious, is that property still available, or did you guys get it sold off market? If you guys are noticing, it's almost the same thing. Say, hey, John, this is actually Alexis. I added a little bit to it. I said, I just came across your property on 5th Street. I noticed it came off the market recently. And listen, I'm sure you're getting a ton of calls. I'm going to keep this super brief. That's called exit language. Is that property still available, or did you get already sold off market? And that is going to just get you in the conversation 100% of the time. No bullshit like, can I have 30 minutes? Can I have 30 seconds? Do you have 2 minutes? Is now a bad time? If now was a bad time, they wouldn't have answered the phone. If they didn't have 30 seconds, they wouldn't have answered the phone. Get into the conversation. These lines, and you don't have to complicate it. Again, the one I would use right here is opening line number 1, but let's use opening line number 2 for a little bit of second alternative. Hey, John, this is actually Alexis. I was looking at your listing on 5th Street. I saw it expired recently. And by the way, I know this is frustrating. I'm sure you're getting a ton of calls. I guess I'm just wondering, are you still planning on getting it sold, or are you guys hitting pause for now? That is another phenomenal opening line that honestly would work just as good as number 1. It is the same kind of setup with a little bit of different language. Here's a GPT-inspired third alternative. Hey, John, this is actually Alexis here. Listen, I'm going to be brief. I saw your home come off the market last week or today or yesterday. I'm sure you've been bombarded with calls. I'm going to keep this very quick. Are you still looking to get it sold, or have plans shifted a bit? That is it. Now, let me address a concern here. If you say this like this, hey, John, Alexis here. I saw your home came off the market last week. I'm sure you've bombarded with calls. I'm going to keep this quick. I'm actually with eXp Realty. Are you guys still looking to get it sold, or have plans changed? That is a salesy, fast-paced tone with no verbal pacing and no curious tonality. That, even if you use the right words, is not going to get the job done a lot of the time. You might still get in the conversation, but it's not going to be as effective. It's important to use your tonality like, hey, John? Yeah, John, it's actually Alexis here. Listen, I'm going to keep this brief. I'm sure you're getting a ton of calls. That's called an empathetic tone. Listen, I'm going to keep this brief. I'm sure you're getting a ton of calls. The home on 5th, I think it came off the market yesterday. And by the way, I'm sure you're getting a ton of calls. Are you guys actually still looking to get that sold, or did the plans change temporarily? That's a curious tone. That is going to get you inside of the conversation 100% of the time. Let's do one more here. I'm going to give you guys a circle prospecting opening line, which, by the way, could be used, to be honest, for rent by owner, old expired, and SOI. Very, very easily transferable. But just to keep this video a bit shorter, I'm going to go through circle prospecting, and then a prompt that you guys can use is actually upload the circle prospecting script and say, can you guys make this, ChatGPT, can you make this into an old expired opening line, or if a rent by owner, or an SOI opening line? So here we go. Last one, circle prospecting opening lines. I have here a little bit longer. I would definitely try to split test with something a little bit shorter. Like, for example, hey, John. Yeah, John, it's actually Alexis. That home on 5th, I'm going to be honest with you. I know it's not for sale. I guess I'm just curious, John. I have a couple clients looking at the area. I'm assuming if I connected you with a client that had an offer, you guys are totally against selling that property, right? That is a short opening line that will likely trigger a no most of the time, but it's going to use that negative framing. Like, that's not something you'd ever consider, right? And it's going to get you right into the conversation. Something that I like doing more is this opening line number 1, and this is how I would do it. I'd say, hey, John. Yeah, John, this is actually Alexis. Listen, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm calling you out of the blue. I'm looking at a property you have here on 5th Street. That's still yours, right? You can add that here, right? Like, that's still yours, right? So it's not so long and just you talking. That's still yours, right? Yeah. Who is this? Yeah, we're not interested, which is a different story. Go into objections, but it got you in the conversation. That's still yours, right? Yeah, it's still mine. And John, listen, I know it's not currently for sale. I actually promised one of my clients I'd give you a ring. We've actually looked at and use a playful tone. We've actually looked at everything on the market, and these are one of those picky clients. They actually haven't liked anything. You wouldn't happen to know anybody in the neighborhood on 5th that's mentioned selling in the past, right? Instead of asking them, you're asking about their neighbors. That's indirect. They'll probably say maybe, yes, no. Likelihood they're going to say, no, we don't really know anybody. And then you'll say, yeah, look, John, and obviously, I guess before I let you go here, by the way, I appreciate you answering the call. I guess if we put together a strong offer for your property over on 5th, you tell me that you guys are going to stay there forever, right? Or you tell me that you have absolutely no intention of selling that property right now, even if it made sense financially, right? That's called using a negative frame. So the important part about this opening line is that we use an indirect frame by talking about the neighbors first, acknowledging that we're calling out of the blue, acknowledging that the home is not for sale, and then saying, and obviously, John, I mean, before I let you go, if I told you we could submit an offer on your property and it was financially incentivizing, you'd tell me you're going to stay in this home forever, right? The power of those words, you're going to stay in this home forever, right? A lot of people are probably not going to stay in their home forever. So they'll say, well, we're not going to stay forever, and now you're inside of the conversation. That is what this video is about, getting inside of the conversation. Let's look at opening line number 2 for Circle Prospects. Hey, John. Yeah, John, this is actually Alexis. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I know I'm calling you out of the blue here. That property on 5th, are you still the owner by chance? John's going to say yes. And you'll say, John, and I'm going to be upfront with you. I know the property is not for sale. And by the way, just to give you context why I'm calling, I have a couple families looking in the neighborhood. And I guess if I mention, that I can connect one of those clients to submit an offer on your property, and obviously assuming that the offer made sense, you'd tell me that you're staying in that home forever, right? This is more of the direct frame, using the same objection preventions and negative language that we use in the first line, but just using it directly, asking them. And the thing with circle prospecting, guys, and I'll kind of end it on this note, is this is more of a volume game. This is more of a supplementary lead source. If you have expireds or for sale by owners in your market, I definitely recommend calling those first. But I promise you guys, if you use these words in the way that I showed you how to use them, and you do it over time in volume, you will get into 100% of your conversations. If you guys like this video, it provided any value, the only thing I ask for you guys is to share it with 3 friends, hit the subscribe button. If you want all of these scripts that I just walked you through right now, click the link below, join my free school community. And if you want to have a chat with me and see whether or not working directly together makes sense, hit the book a call button. And for now, see you guys in the next video. Let's go.